Monday, May 9th, 12:38 a.m. Done at 1:03 a.m. And because this is a story, I'm going to add a little extra to it that I never wrote down. I'm going to, how they say, what do they call that? Anyway, I forget what they call it, but I'll just get started. Just get started. Mr. Avail, I need a name. I'd like your help. You got it. Go. Oh, thanks. This is a bad guy, and the inhabitants don't speak English, so I need to create a language and sound that identifies this foe. Can you help me out? That was improvised. That's what the word was. Improvision? That Drew guy, he does that show with those other really cool guys. They improvise. Oh, the word was just on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it. Well, what language do they speak? Primate? I don't know. It doesn't exist right now. I'm just making it up. Laughter. Well, maybe you want to enlist the help of a linguist or a speech pathologist. That might just get you where you want to go. What would you do if you want it done in seconds or in minutes, Mr. Avail? You can always change it later, right? A foe. Okay, let's do this. The foe. A sound of aggression. You know, something aggressive. You can use any animal. You can use a human being. Now, you also want to use fear, and you also have panic, right? So you have three identifiable characteristics right there that you can say, oh, just by this sound, I can identify that that is danger or a foe. Whoa, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. That's the sound and accent, right? Now you want the association of the nature of this foe. What makes this entity a foe? What's it after? What's the reason, right? Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's right. It is what? Invading, betrayal, greed, domination, slavery. What? So I take, say, greed, and connect a sound of what the source of greed is, like an island full of monkeys, and coconuts are the main source of food, right? And this enemy is after the coconuts, right? Okay, so you got the enemy, you got the island, you got the monkeys, you got the food, the coconuts, and the foe wants all the coconuts, all right? Are you metaphoring all of this? Ad lib, that's what it is, ad lib. Okay, let's continue now that I remember and I could not translate the word on my tongue. Now I know what that word is, ad lib. So I name the enemy a sound of a coconut. And the coconut doesn't make sound. So to eat the coconut You have to break the coconut, and the sound of the enemy is the sound of a coconut breaking. Accent with fear and panic. Mr. Avail puts a finger in his cheek and pops. Quickly, thumb and finger shakes the same cheek. Now you get the picture, right? Followed by pop. That's why I wrote pop, followed by sloppy noises. I didn't know what else to write. How do you describe that sound? So I put sloppy noises. Now turn these sounds into a word. And thus, Shinabi becomes the origin of the righteous. Holy, you gotta use a different word than that. Do you know what? Just using that word, people identify themselves as being righteous. You got a world full of crazy people in an insane asylum who will associate this story that you're talking about them. And they're fucking crazy. You can't go around using that word. Use a different word. Listen, you're my student. You're paying me X amount of dollars to take this course. I need you to change that word into something else. Make the foe retarded. Make the foe retarded. There you go. Not righteous. Make it retarded. And then nobody in their right mind associates themselves with retarded. Not even retarded people see themselves as being retarded. You are not being politically correct, Mr. Avail. Even lawyers, even the law, even politicians and CEOs and the best of the best go down because they're not politically correct. You cannot use that word. I'm telling you not to use the word righteous, and you're telling me not to use the word retarded? Well, what word do you think we should use? Taking a breath. Peace and calm clear the mind. And suddenly, it just occurred to me, no matter what words we use, you cannot please anybody all the time. You cannot make everybody happy. You have a world full of people who use drugs, alcohol, food, exercise, sex, you name it, anything to alleviate pain and suffering and trauma and you name it. We have a world full of people, kind of like an insane asylum, where everybody's looking for a cure to whatever is missing in their life. And no matter what word, whether it be righteous, retarded, or any other word, you have a world full of people who are never going to be happy with anything I write. What am I going to do, Mr. Avail? Well, you kind of just answered your own question. There's nothing you can do. All you can do is write a story and change the words later. And just like Shinabi, I'm going to guess there is some word out there in the world which is actually Shinabi and it means something. And even though you might spell it differently than what the actual spelling of Shinabi is, I bet your definition and the origin of this word, since you just made this up, I'm going to bet there's a whole world of words and different languages that, oh, the words might sound the same, but their meanings are different. Just like people think of any word, and that's why they create word association to bring awareness to the understanding that association is real, and no matter what word you use, people are going to identify or be triggered by what something means to them. Even that sound, this sloppy, noisy sound, sure, you can make that sound, and depending upon a person's experience, maybe they'll associate with plunging a toilet or some other thing. And meanwhile, you're just creating new words. So you can't really do anything about it. You can change the words, you can change the sounds, you can do pretty much anything, but people are still going to not like you if they don't like you. And if they do like you, they might take whatever you write as to being a story or being fact or to being whatever it is. I mean, this is your rough copy. You know what? Just come up with the idea, get it down, and you are. So you can fix it later, and maybe you can do what some of these businesses do and create a contest. I got this word. This is a foe, and I'm challenging you to create a word and the origin, how you created this word to be the enemy. How are you going to, how did this become the enemy? And how did you create this word so that whenever it's said in this foreign language, you can't help but know, oh, that's the enemy. I get that, right? I like that, Mr. Avail. Create a contest for a word meaning a foe or enemy. Thanks. And I really, really like the way you created the association and even the effects, right? I think that's kind of cool. Gee, thanks. Are we done?